Hello, friends. I'm Colonel Failure, and this is the Colonel Reviews for September 2021. The intro to these is always kind of weird because after saying my hello and blah, 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 whatever month it is, I have to then mentally play the bombastic intro in my head to make sure there's enough of me just doing nothing in the background or doing something. I occasionally do something to fill that time. So this is stuff I care about. It's weird. Oh, yeah, jeez. Sorry, brain's on the go. My brain is at the moment on the go, like a lot. I have so many things I'm juggling that I just have. Oh, here's an idea. Oh, here's an idea. Oh, here's an idea. Oh, just constantly being thrown at me. And you know what? As much as it can take me off track regularly. It's great. That's great, just having ideas pop up. The thing is, will I remember any of them? I mean, if you don't write them down, they might as well have not existed in the first place. But the way I see it is that there is a filtering system in place, especially if I then acknowledge it as, oh, that's a good idea. And yeah, see, that one I just had, it's gone. Completely gone. I was going to tell you what it was. Not because it was necessarily pertinent, particularly, but purely because as an illustrative kind of thing. But the way I see it is that if I acknowledge, oh, that was a decent one, then it will sit back in the repository and emerge when the time comes. The best ones stay on the surface. Anyway, it's been an interesting month. Because I've taken I had a sort of a partial breaking of the clouds during late August. No, mid-August. Let's say mid-August, where I was kind of evaluating the approach that I was taking, where I'd power out a series relatively quickly. And the good news is that you can test this stuff real fast. 2 or 3 weeks doing one approach, it will give you a clear indication of, is this approach accomplishing what you want it to do? And the idea was I can power through a whole bunch of games that require more than one episode to be played in order for it to be a good Let's Play. I'm not in a position, if I were a 1-2 video a week kind of a dude, then I'd be in a position whereby I could spend 5 hours playing the game, edit that down to be and here's what I found out about it, even if that were to be in a kind of a jocular, let's see how badly I can break it over the course of 5 hours. Is there a half-hour story that I could get out of a 5-hour playthrough? Undoubtedly could, but I'm not. Well, here's the thing, right? Is when you do this YouTube capering, you back yourself into a lot of corners. And no one is controlling what you do other than you. You might say, well, I'm so beholden to my audience and the people who've subscribed already. And you're going to go, yeah, if you want to do the same again, and then go for it. And there is a reinforcing effect that happens as a result of continuing to double down on the same material, on the same broad genre. I'm trying to keep this fairly loose because this extends beyond games into whatever your video channel of choice may actually be covering. A good example, I follow a channel called Make Art Now is what the channel's called, and he's a photographer. I think I've referenced him before, but he's a photographer, and his background is in taking swanky videos of very high-end mansions in California, which are then for kind of retail purposes, so for real estate purposes, and but he's a kind of a frustrated actor slash director slash filmmaker slash whatever you want to call him, and I've been watching his stuff for probably getting on for 2 years, purely because of the way he shoots his vlogging, and they're almost all vlogs. I've watched him do like camera reviews and stuff. Not because I'm ever going to go anywhere near that gear, but because the way he puts it together it makes for a very stimulating piece of entertainment. And what was the other thing? Oh, and because he's very personable, he's very easy to listen to, and therefore it makes it good. Recently, however, he switched to doing kind of podcast, vlogcast, interview type stuff with other people, and I just find myself going, no, that's not why I'm here. I'm here for your camera work. I'm here for your editing and for the creation of the stuff that you're putting together. That's what's keeping me interested. You talking to other people about stuff. Listen, this is ironic, interestingly enough, because I've been considering doing something similar. It's leaving me going, yeah, I mean, the conversation was somewhat interesting, but not to the extent that it's better than what you were doing before. In fact, it's not as interesting as you were doing before, and I'm less inclined to watch it. So, doubling down right onto the one style of doing things, and early on when I started making videos, I was in I'd started out by doing like 2-3 videos a week that I'd put no more effort into, other than, learning curve style effort. I put no more effort into than I do now, or that I did kind of when I was, covering 3-4 games a week, and you'd get a couple of episodes of each time. It would be a play for 30 minutes, edit to 25, and fire it up. That was it. That was all I was doing, but I was doing 2 or 3 of them a week, and I worked out that actually, if I was to do one every day, that I would get a better return on effort. So I did one every day, and I got a better return on effort. And before you knew it, I became a 7 days a week video guy. The problem with the 7 days a week video guy is that a lot of the stuff that you put out is disposable. It's throwaway. It's here to get day gone tomorrow. Where it has any kind of a lifespan at all will be where it's part of a series. But even then, the numbers drop off. If I can call my stats up here, I was not going to call my stats up this time around, but it might illustrate it. My internet's down at the moment. This is okay. This is no need for any level of panic. We were told that the internet was going down today, but not for how long. And I went, okay, so I've got some offline stuff I can do. And then turned out, I got up, started doing my usuals, and I went, oh, internet's still up. I'll carry on with that. And then the internet went down, and I went, oh, poo. So I thought, hey, I'll do this. Yeah, look, I know I store it in Dropbox, but I have a local copy. Thank you. Right. So, yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so the longer form series based stuff. This is videos being slightly disposable, right? The longer form series, if you take a Workers and Resources, or if you take a Transport Fever or something like that, or even a City of Gangsters, Evil Genius, any of these, where I've played double-digit plus episodes, put out double-digit plus episodes, they do have a life after you've done with them. I think Evil Genius might actually be a good example, because I did 15 in total, and I stopped recording those in, I want to say June, but it might have been May. I can't remember. Either way, that series has done 150,000 views in total. No, it's good. It's fine. The big hitters, I mean, I've got 5 there that have done, well, the top performing video has done 30,000, and that's the one where I made a trap thing before it came out. Lots of people had a look at that, and that was good. Now, last month, all right, put a picture in your head, right? I've done 15 videos. How many views do you think that entire series did last month? Go on, just have a quick guess. Okay, right, got a number in your head? 530. That entire series did 530 views last month. Now, part of the reason that I opted to go with YouTube rather than Twitch and do streams only is the problem with Twitch is, or the problem with streaming, I should say, is that it only exists while you're live. When you stop being live, it disappears. There is no... One of the things your modern... throw away your day job and make a living so that you can have a life that is rewarding. All of these kind of pillars. That all came about in the early 2000s with real estate, where you could get a mortgage of 0%. You could get 100% mortgage with no deposit down to buy a house that you could then flip to someone else who was doing the same thing, or you could rent out or whatever. And the dream at the time was that you make a passive income that then supports you forever. And so there was a little bit of that thinking going on in there, in that with a YouTube channel, all of those videos, they can be watched 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, whether you've made a new one or not. You've still got stuff available. And it's true. It's what in a kind of games product term is called the long tail. You get a massive level of interest to start with that declines really quickly, but you do have a long tail of sales. I used to call this Britney Spears theory. That very much ages when I kind of wrote this down and started sort of teaching people about it. So Britney puts out a new record. Taylor Swift, all right, whoever, Lorde puts out a new record, and record, eh? Nice one, Grandad. Puts out a new record, and it sells gangbusters in the first week. It's doing well in the charts. Loads of people are listening to it. People are picking it up. They're buying it. That doesn't happen anymore either. But she makes a huge ton of cash. Fast forward 6 months, and it's still selling. So it's doing okay. But instead of doing 50,000 copies in a week, it's doing 5,000. Fast forward by a year, and it's not doing 5,000 copies a week. It's doing 500. Fast forward 10 years, it's doing 50 copies, 100 copies a week, something like that. And in isolation, you kind of go, well, that's not enough to make a living from. You kind of go, yeah, but she's not made one. She's made dozens of recordings, of singles, of albums, of all of that kind of stuff. And it is the cumulative effect of having multiple long tails in operation that means that however many years from now, the little trickle of sales that they all get is enough to bring in an income whereby she can consider herself continuingly wealthy. Slade, a British band who had a lot of hits in the 70s, well, a good handful of hits in the 70s, a glam rock band, and they made a Christmas tune, Noddy Holder and his Christmas tune. And it's one of those Christmas tunes that in the UK certainly gets slotted into it's a mandatory Christmas tune. It's one of the tunes that are played every year without fail. Noddy Holder is said in an interview a while ago, kind of goes, yeah, that's my job. That song is my job. I don't need to do anything. Once a year, I get so much PRS income from that, which is the Performing Rights Association or Society. They're the people who sting radio stations for playing the songs. He gets so many royalties from it every year without fail that's his income sorted. Now he has to space out spending it because obviously that only plays for a month. But that covers the whole thing. And that's the kind of idea that sits behind those videos that are doing, going out and out. They got a couple of million views. Well, that's going to generate a whole bunch of views every month to kind of bring in enough to keep you going. But anyway, I got onto this 7 video a week treadmill, and sure enough, it grew my channel very nicely. The difference in doing 2 or 3 a week to doing 7 a week was remarkable. It was a demonstration of, well, this is clearly worth doing. Let's carry on with this. And that's because the videos I'm putting out are the videos themselves are low quality because I'm not spending time crafting the visual entertainment that you've got. I don't work on a script. I don't over edit. I don't cut out huge swathes. The craftsmanship in there is low quality. It all relies on my ability to improvise fun stuff in the moment. And sometimes that's great, and sometimes it's less great. And occasionally I'll hit on a narrative track that is a lot of fun and keeps people coming along. But it's low. But that's all me, right? That's what I bring to the party. I could be talking about absolutely anything, and a similar kind of thing would just kind of rock up. It's more about am I playing something that generates those moments that give me the spark of inspiration to go off and improvise things? Now, I'm in no way special for being able to do this. I obviously have my own personal spin on things that I do, but that's the core element of the channel, is that I go off on a flight of fancy, and if I've worked it in well, the audience come with me. They'll go like, yeah, all right, I can see where you're going with this. You know, if I get the idea of I've built this path, no one's using it, I'm going to watch to see if anyone uses it. And then after a couple of minutes, you kind of go, well, you've now got two choices. You can either throw that away, and this is the conversation that I'm having in my head while just jabbering away. You can either now throw that away, move on to something else and come back to it later, which would be what a sensible person would do. You're going to go, or just sit here until it happens. I went like, well, you know what? Sit here until it happens is far more unusual. And you might be here for a long time. And sure enough, I was there for a long time and had to cheat in order to get that through. But that's the kind of the curation of content that happens at the point that it's being recorded. I'm writing while talking. It is, and they're kind of idea fragments. They're fragments of, if you were to move on and do something like this at the next bit, then you're all good. And I mean, I'm happier generally with the videos I put out where I have put more effort in, where I have over-recorded, where I've recorded way more than I need, and then edited it down. Or if you take something like Tourist Bus Simulator, there's a start sequence where I'm running the game at high speed and I'm recording the VO afterwards. That works too. I mean, that was a good motif that I was going to explore for a little while, because the first time I did it, it worked really well. It was a Transport Fever, and I'm thinking it was Transport Fever Metropolis. The first, maybe the second episode, where I tore up everything that I'd built in the first one, relayed it at high speed, talked over the top, but the commentary that I did over that speed build was so fast and fluid that I thought, there's something in that, you know, that's pretty good. And I experimented since then with doing it again in other kind of let's play build type scenarios. Doesn't work. No, you can do it for maybe 30 seconds before your commentary starts to get a little bit forced, and also you need a break from it. You can't move at that speed all the time. You have to be able to, in order to appreciate fast, you have to have slow. In order to appreciate light, you have to have dark. You can't go all one pace. Otherwise, it's an unchanging kind of thing. And these days, the way that I'll tend to replicate that is I'll have moments of kind of reflection on what I'm playing, where I'll kind of reiterate the mission plan, whatever that may be. Or I'll deliberately start to drop off in terms of my level of. I do this in baseball a lot. So if I find myself at a kind of constant tone, I drop it off, and I start to get a little bit slower and more laid back and quieter, so that I can then just kind of go kapow into another big moment, and that keeps it with a gentle flow that allows people to not just nod off. Now, I know a lot of people nod off to what I do anyway. Is that the bit that I'm getting wrong? No, if people are nodding off to what I do and they feel, put at peace because of me grumbling away in the background, superb. That's medication, that is. I should be on the NHS. Right, good. What was I talking about? New plan. Yeah, so I kicked off a new plan in the middle of August. This section went on a bit longer than I'd intended. Kicked off a new plan in the middle of August, and I had a kind of a breaking of the clouds moment where I thought, what am I actually good at? Where's the stuff that I actually excel? Or where are the videos where my hit rate in regard to you've made something worth watching there is better than elsewhere? And bizarrely enough, Transport Fever ain't it. It really isn't. My Transport Fever stuff is good because it falls into it works despite the haphazard way that it's been put together. Also, the number of people who try and tell me how to play the game, you just kind of go, oh, shut up. Do me a favour. I've played so much of this flaming game that even if you were to say, oh, there's a perfect way of doing this, I kind of go, yeah, but I do it my way and it works. So, shh. Is it going to work any better? Is it going to yield something that I haven't previously yielded? I've still got plenty of ideas of stuff to do in Transport Fever because it's my kind of game. But it's not my best. My best stuff, and this is where I came to the conclusion, my best stuff was almost universally simulators. Almost universally, it was simulators where I was doing well. Train sim. Now, as much as it's my day job, and therefore, it's train sim, at the same time, Train Sim World, because it is such a static experience in terms of you're sat in the cab and you're just trundling along and not a lot is happening, I have to come up with what's happening. Now, the good thing about Train Sim World is that the routes are nice and long, so I've got 45 minutes, an hour to have an adventure of some description. The insertion of a passenger announcement, that's bright and breezy. But I should write on a big piece of paper, if you don't have a concept for the passenger announcement before you make one, it's not going to be very good. The best ones are the ones where I already know what the concept is. The words, they happen in the spur of the moment, but the concept itself, that's something I need in advance. Chewbacca running the concession stall is a good one. Getting irate because the weather's slippery, all of that kind of stuff. If I've thought it through in advance of what I'm actually going to say, the end result is much, much better. But I've done loads of those now. How many have I done? I've got the stats in front of me. I've done Train Sim Worlds. I have done 42 Train Sim World videos. Crikey. Yeah. And last month, Train Sim World videos did 26,000 views for me. Oh, thank you very much. That's nice. Yeah, that's pretty strong going. Obviously, I stuck one out last month, so that will have bumped it up a bit, and that's probably half. That's probably half of those views came from that. Whereas Train Sim World series-wise, it's number 3 on the all-time view chart for series. Let's look at Soviet Republic. Actually, no, Soviet Republic's no, it's not a bad example. Soviet Republic, I've done 106 videos, and in August it had an active series running. All right, last month. 20,000 views. Train Sim World, last month, 26,000 views off 40 videos. Soviet Republic, 106 videos. This is where disposable content, right? You'd go like, well, something like Soviet Republic, people are going to go back and watch that and watch it and chew up the entire series. And certainly they do, but not in any great volume. Whereas Train Sim World videos, I've done all of those as one-shots. As this is an isolated video. You can watch it on its own. You don't need to watch anything else afterwards or before in order to get the feel for what's going on. And as a result, those videos work better. Nobody jumps in at episode 14. They might get a snippet out of episode 14 and go, oh, yeah, all right, I'll go back to number 1 and watch the lot. Not many people do that. And this is a running pattern of just about everything I've done. I'm fascinated now to see what the overperformers are. Right, I've got to reboot the camera. It only allows me to do 24 minutes before it kind of goes like, let's start again. Because it's a stills camera, but with a, whatnot. Right, I'll be back in a moment. I've changed the angle so I can see stuff a little bit better. Bizarrely enough, in my spreadsheet, because I think these things through, I'd already tracked my kind of serious performance thing. This isn't the one that I'd necessarily go with as a litmus test, but it's a good one, right? And this is the top 10 series from August, based on the number of views per video they've had. All right, clear? Yeah. So not the overall number of views, but the overall number of views, the number of views per video that they've had. Interesting. I'll have to look that up in a minute. Yeah, I will. Okay, right. At number 1. There's not going to be much of a surprise here for you. It's Train Life. I'd covered 6, and don't forget, this is covering the whole of August, right? So this is the full month of August. I started covering Train Life in the last week of August. Now, I'm a little bit Trains guy, as we know, and therefore it was always going to overperform. But that was averaging 9,000 views a video, which makes me go, thank you very much. well beyond the 5K cut-off mark that is the wood chipper these days. Super duper pooper scooper. At number 2, it's Car Mechanic Simulator. I have waited for the day where Car Mechanic Simulator would start to do things. Now, here's the thing. I got Car Mechanic Simulator very quickly at release. In fact, I might have even had it pre-release. Yeah, I did. I think I had a 3-4 day early access window to it where I just pumped stuff out on a daily basis. And one of those, which was the one where I went to a junkyard for the first time, did super well. It's in fact, I'll look it up. Hang on one moment. 13,000 views? 15,000 views. Sorry, 17,000 views. Looking at the wrong column. 17,000 views on that. A 17,000 view video, they're not common. They're scarce enough that when you get one, you go, yes. So it's done 17k views in a couple of weeks. And the reason that that's something worth celebrating is because when someone now searches for Car Mechanic Simulator, that it has already performed well means it is going to ride high in the search results for quite some time to come. So it's going to continue to deliver on the views much better than something that doesn't really turn up in search results at all. Episode 17 of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. So my challenge with something like Car Mechanic Simulator is take what we know from Train Sim World and make it so that each video is an encapsulated story. It was running the risk of starting to get a little bit formulaic. Now, I know that there's a couple of channels out there. I studied this when I was looking at doing Car Mechanic previously because, it's a Zen-like game. I really enjoy it. And there's some channels that will spend 5 episodes finding a car and tearing it apart and getting the bits put together and reassembling it. And none of them were doing well, even if the person running the channel was pretty bang on when it came to actually doing commentary. But the majority of them just very dry. And because it is literally a mechanic simulator, once you've fixed it, your mission complete there, your job done. There's not a huge amount that you can do beyond that. Now, the new game, it's got a test track you can go and drive it on and all sorts of things. And that's an improvement. And also, what I've noticed is the car handling has been significantly improved from the previous game, which is super. But it was the last episode, the one where I went to the junkyard, picked out a couple of cars, brought one back, and then rather than skipping past the teardown, I just told anecdotes, and I let one anecdote roll into another, where there was any kind of a connection point that would make sense, and occasionally I'd talk about where I was up to with the teardown of the car, and that would trigger a thought of another anecdote that I could tell. I got pretty lucky with it. I'll be honest. It was 45 minutes of me just telling stories, and it worked really nicely. I don't think it's the kind of thing that will ever go gangbusters, but for those who already like the style and the tone and the rhythm of speech that I use and all of that kind of stuff, it played really well. It was just it was an unexpected win where I thought, I've no idea how well this is going to do, but it was an unexpected win, and that's great. Right, back to our top 10. So August top 10 views per video. City of Gangsters, 6,000 views per video. All right, that's above wood chipper, and you're going to go, yeah, but, and here's the yeah, but. That is being carried significantly by part 1, which has done 18,000 views. By the time you get to part 4, you're down. But by the time you get to part 3, you're below 5,000. Part 4 below 5,000. Part 5 below 5,000. Right, and you just kind of go, yeah. There's not much more in that. Now, I appreciate that the way I was playing it with my usual, riffing off storylines and that kind of thing. Was a little bit more. It had got a bit more to it than everybody else who was just playing it. The big problem with that game, though, is holy cow, there's not much to look at, or there's a lot of the same to look at, and then it's just grinding stuff out and grinding stuff out and grinding stuff out and grinding, and you kind of go, whoo! And as someone who's trying to do stimulating commentary over the top of it, it does not give you much to work with. There's not much you can spin off from that in the slightest. So I pulled the plug on it after I tried to pull the plug at 4. People went, do some more. I went, all right, I'll do another couple. And I tried to pull the plug at 6, and I went, oh, I wish you'd do more of this. And I went like, well, okay, the views are kind of still holding up. All right, I'll do another couple. Waited a week, did a couple more. And people went, oh, it's a shame you're ending it. And I went, good, right, I'm out of here. It's not a keeper, and I'll be honest with you, series of that kind, they would have to lend themselves to extraordinarily stimulating commentary for me to go down that path again. Someone asked me a couple of days ago, am I ever going back to Workers and Resources? No. That's it now. I'm not doing it. I can't bring myself to do it. The frustrations in the game are high. And especially for the type of way, the way that I play, which is I want to be able to put down good-looking infrastructure fast. What I can't do is spend 45 minutes smoothing out a path and then you get a janky bit of road going down it. The upshot means that if I wanted these things to move forwards at any kind of speed at all, everything's going to look janky. Plus, the amount of backseat driving is horrendous backseat driving going on. So no, that's it. I'm never doing another video on it. No, never. Not kidding. I don't care what features they introduce. I'm not doing it. It's still a great game. Let's get that completely out there. It's still a great game. But I ain't covering it anymore because firstly, I've done 100 odd videos, and secondly, I ain't covering it anymore. Right, let's move back to our list. In fourth, Minecraft. Minecraft is a perpetual stinker on my channel. A perpetual stinker. Every time I do it, it underperforms. This time, no different. I thought, hold on, Minecraft. Massive viewing audience. Massive viewing audience. Number 2, Trains mod. Okay, I'm Mr. Trains. If I can leverage the Mr. Trains audience to bring in an initial kind of peak surge of traffic to watch this thing, the YouTube might then propel it in the direction of the massive Minecraft audience. That in itself, worth the price of admission. Second one, survival games. When I do a survival game, when I run a server, a survival game server, and I go, and this is available to backers of the Colonel Failure channel. What do you know? A whole bunch of people come in and back the channel. And it tends to be, it doesn't tend to drag new people in so much as it does people have been watching for ages and are just waiting for that, oh, go on then, yeah, all right, yeah, you know, this will be, I'm talking about you people, right? So there will be a moment where you kind of go, I want some of that. I already quite like this guy and the things that he does. I watch most of the videos. Why not go hang out with the dude a little bit? Except, of course, that just about everybody discovers that I haven't got the time to play them. I flaming love survival games. I love them to bits. I think it's my favourite genre. But I ain't got time to play them. And that's a problem. Because I come in and I'll be around. The other thing that people aren't aware of is that when I play a survival game, I want to be left alone. Leave me alone to do stuff in a survival game. Leave me alone. No. Yes, come and pay intro. Oh, what are you working on? Oh, I'm building this and that and this and that. Do you need a hand? No. Do you want me to do it? No. Can I help with it? No. Because it's all in here and I want to build it. That's the reason I play it, is I want to build it. Fair play to all of the Minecraft people who are jumping in and doing stuff. They've been fabulous at holding back from the bits that I want to catch on video. I think of every survival series I've ever done, this has been the one that has worked the best in that regard, and I haven't played it now in probably a week and a half. I will be playing some more this weekend because I want to get a video out. The good news for you guys, I'm going to turn you loose on trains after this next one. All right? Yeah, there are no more limitations with regard to train stuff. In fact, you can go off and make towns and cities and all of that kind of stuff. Stick to the plan that we've already been using, but you can now evolve it. I'm turning the server over to you, and I will dip in and do a project and be a Minecraft tourist on a regular basis. And I'm thinking that will probably be once every 2 weeks. My intention is still to keep this server up in perpetuity, or at least until it crashes to death. I think if I were to, when it crashes to death, I may set up another one, but I think we'll go for a reduction in the number of mods by about 75%. 150 mods is too many by a long way. And that's why handing the keys to that kingdom over to someone with an unhealthy addiction to mods, that's unhealthy addiction, is not necessarily the wisest thing. I joke because I can. Right, moving down the list, Derail Valley comes in at number 5 for last month. Did I do a video? I did one video for Derail Valley last month. Then Train Sim World. Now, you might go, all right, so we started out at 9,000 views a video. Car Mechanic Sim, 7,500. City of Gangsters, 6,000. Minecraft, 2,000. Derail Valley, 1,000. Train Sim World, 600. Views per video, right? This is all long tail by this point. Transport Fever 2, 500 views per video. Now that's not too bad when you consider I've done 140 Transport Fever 2 videos, averaging 500 per video. That's not bad. Admittedly, I did stick out one video, but it was rubbish, so I delisted it. But it had done 6,000 by the time I delisted it. Lifestyle. What does that mean? That's random simulators. Lifestyle did 230. It comes in at number 8 on our chart. And then Soviet Republic at 195. And then Railroad Corporation. And you kind of go, well, what now? Yeah, I know. I haven't recorded a video on it in 2 years. It's done 190 views. Do you know why it's done so well for me? I'm almost the only channel that covered it. And every time it goes into the sale, people look for coverage and I get the views. Railroad Corporation episode 1 has done 110,000 views. I kind of go, great. Worse than that is the first time I played it through, I really didn't like it. I found it frustrating as anything to play. Then I went back and played it again, and I went, actually, this is better than Railway Empire, which the two are so similar. But I went, actually, I prefer this over Railway Simulator, Railway Empire, I should say. But there you go. So yeah, it continues overperforming, and I think my frustration with it actually spills through quite clearly in the old. Yeah. Okay, so I'm kind of into stats now. This video has not gone the way I'd intended, but it's actually working out quite nicely. Onto stats, because we're into a stats kind of a scene there, and this is all relevant. Now, I had a good streak because I went, simulators, they're great for one and done, or maybe two and done, or maybe three and done if it's popular, but with almost without exception, I can generate a story coming out of those, no problem at all, because the experience in there is going to trigger all kinds of life story stuff that I've got going on in the background, and therefore it's a solid one to play. Look at Power Wash Simulator. That worked. I had no idea what I was going to talk about in there, and yet somehow I managed to finish it off, and people liked it. They enjoyed the video. Did it do gangbusters in terms of views? Not especially, and I could look it up, but it's going to be a little bit convoluted. I'm going to look it up because actually I've got no idea how many it did. I mean, it was 2 months ago, so it's been out for a little while. Power Wash Simulator. You could just Control F it. You can Control F yourself. Oh, that's very rude. Yeah, actually, it is very rude. HumSim Metro did 13,500 views. Nice. Yeah. No, that's good. No, where? Come on, where are you hiding? There it is, Power Wash Simulator. It's done, there you go. It's not great, but it's fine. It's done 7,000 views to date. And you're going to go, oh dear. Yeah, all right, okay. So that came out in the same month as my Evil Genius series. Did it really? Is it that long ago? Yes. Evil Genius episode 6 has done 6,300 views. Power Wash Simulator number 1 and only has done 6,900 views. Episode 6. Episode 7 of Evil Genius, 6,000. Episode 8, 5,000. I'm not even joking. It dropped by 1,000. Episode 9, 4,700. Let's Play series, bad investment. Bad investment. Now, of course, the only thing they have going for them is people watch episode 1. And if they like it, watch episode 2. And if they like it, watch episode 3. If they like it, watch episode 4. Yeah? But the curve, the graph is always the same. It's always fewer people watch the next episode than watch the previous one. And that's a universal truth. Once in a while, you may hit on something that causes a bit of a bump, but then it will return to where it was beforehand. And therefore, long series just aren't a good idea. Now, I dabbled already with the shorter form series. So, doing a 20-part Transport Fever instead of a 50-part, which is my usual. Or doing 10 episodes in City Skylines, or whatever it is. And that worked better because you hadn't got to the episode 14 decline. You'd only got to episode 10. But the decline was still real. It's still not a good return on investment. Anyway, here's Farm Manager. Episode 1, 10k. Episode 2, 7. Episode 3, 6. Episode 4, 5.3. Episode 5, 5.2. Episode 6, 5.2. Farm Manager, I think, was doing better in terms of levelling off because the videos were shorter and because I would have a concept going into that video that would hold their attention. But I did 6 episodes and then it's done. Transport Fever actually held up pretty strongly as well. Episode 1, 32,000. This is the first Japan series. Episode 2 was down to 21. But if we now fast forward to episode 12, which is where I stopped, did 15,000. Was that a Tracks and Beats? Oh, it might have been. Yeah. So it performed strongly for me for the simple reason that quite a sizable proportion of my audience turned up to watch me play that. Because that's still where a lot of my channel growth has come from. Going Medieval, let's have a look at that. 7,500 for number 1, 5,600 for 2. We got a bump for 3, which was 6,800. Interesting. But then we're into the slope, and by the time you get to episode 8, which is where I stopped, 3,600. Now, views are not the be-all and end-all, friends. But the main reason for trying to isolate and do self-contained videos is that the narrative can hold up. By doing anything that has a repetitious kind of nature to it in a serialized fashion, you need to show your viewers something different each time. Otherwise, you only get the people who are strongly invested or the relatively sizable audience that I enjoy, who put me on in the background while they're doing other stuff. I'm perfectly happy with that, by the way. Stick me on in the background while you're doing other stuff. I get it. I will routinely have stuff on in the background while I'm doing something else that I can half pay attention to. And if it sounds like something interesting has happened, it can have my attention for a moment. And then I'm back to doing whatever I was doing. Totally get that. And I love it. But there you go. So, midway through August, I made the switch. Tail end of August, I made the switch. And I'm boosted by the fact that I was doing Train Life, which was bringing in numbers, and then doubling up. I was doing 2 videos a day for a week and a half. You can't maintain that pace, and hold down a job and develop a game and run a Discord community and run a baseball draft and continue operating your football league. Can't do that all at the same time. There isn't enough time. I found that out. I managed it for a few days. Oh yeah, managed to power through with that for a few days. But then I just kind of went and the whole thing collapsed all over the floor, which is why I went a couple of days without any videos, because I've kind of gone. That's not in a burnout kind of sense, but you kind of go like, how long do you intend on running at this speed? Because you can't run at this speed, and do your job as well. And you kind of go, yeah, doing the job as well is kind of important. So yeah, it was fun, and I tell you, the numbers paid off. Oh boy! My goal at the moment, my baseline is I want 10,000 views per day, and that's across the universe. Stick out a new video, and if it's a good one, it'll do half that number for you. All right. A typical Let's Play series, let's say it's past episode 10, is going to do 2,000 of that 10. All right. An episode 1 will do 4,000, 5,000. A one and done will do 4,000, 5,000. And then the rest of it is carried in the main by what did you record yesterday, and then a little bit less. What did you do the day before? And a little bit less. What did you do the day before? And then the main weight of it comes from everything else, right? So 10,000 views a day doesn't sound like very much, and that's because it isn't. At the same time, it does sound like a heck of a lot. If you're actually doing a YouTube channel, you're going to go like getting to 10,000 is, well, you know you're on your way if you can achieve that. And you kind of go, yeah. The question is then breaking beyond it. So I managed to get 10k a day. Sweet. Then after that, because I'm obsessed with this app, right? No, I'm not obsessed with it. No, I am. You are obsessed with this app. Okay. All right. This is... Hold on. Internet's down, so I'm on 4G, and the connectivity is not that brilliant back in this particular edifice. In your own time, don't make me hold you in the air. I'll look like a plonker. Right. This is the YouTube app. All right. There's the YouTube. No, don't refresh. There you go. Now, hold this in such a way that nice people can see what you're doing. Right. There's the YouTube app that you want to see. Now, you've just got a reflection of the camera in there. So, okay, you only need to see that blue graph at the top, right? That blue graph, I'll point to it with my finger. That one. All right. That is the view tracker for the last 48 hours. And at the moment, it reads 22,740 views in the last 48 hours. Now, it's not been helped out by Monday, because I didn't do a video. Tuesday, what did I do on Tuesday? I can't remember, but probably something. Holding over the 10,000 mark. If I'm doing under 10,000, there had better be a good reason. If I put a video out and I'm under 10,000 views a day on average, there's a problem. Because that video has not done what it's supposed to do. If I do put a video out, I should at least be hitting 10,000 a day across everything. So while I was doing the double videos per day, it crept up and it broke through the 15,000 views per day, and then it broke through the 20,000 views per day. I had a 4-day stretch where my 48-hour average was 40,000 plus, so 20,000 a day. That's double the size. Here's the thing, is at 10,000 a day, my views per month is 300,000. We know this, right? And if you tune into these regularly, you know already that 300,000, that's pretty much where I sit. I want 500,000. I want to be sitting at 500,000. And I've discussed previously that the way to get there is to make videos that are bigger, that have a bigger first launch, because in doing so, they have a stronger long tail. You're also propelled in that direction if you're doing videos that have that stronger launch. Not only do you get the stronger long tail, I'll show you, hold on, I'll go find the longest of tailists. Actually, I'm not sure the longest of tailists is the one. Just because we've talked a lot about numbers. I hadn't intended to talk about numbers, my apologies. But here we are. I'm going to back up a year or two. That's not bad. That tour of the map I did on Transport Fever 2, where John had sent in a really quite good looking passenger station. It's done 127,000 views lifetime. That puts it top 10. Last month, 5,200 views. That's one video. That's one video. If I go even further back, I've still got some. Let's find the next 1,000. Here we go. What is Train Sim World 2020? Did 1,500 views last month, and that's almost 2 years old. Train Sim Transport Fever 2, building a freight hub, 2,000 views. That goes back even further. That was published. Hold on. I shall find the date. The 5th of January, 2020. Oh, really? I would have thought that would be a little bit earlier. No? 5th January 2020. Keep going backwards. Keep going backwards. Let's find the earliest. There's the Transport Fever 2 press tour. The one where I go and ride a train and talk about the game for a bit. That's done 2,000 views last month. These are all big hitting videos. And Railroad Corporation Episode 1 has done 1,500 views. The question is it better than Railroad Tycoon? Clickbait. Yeah, I know, but people click on clickbait. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it. That's 2019. That one's from. Keep going. Oh, there's another one. What's this one? That's Train Sim World Long Island Railroad. That's done 150,000 views lifetime. You see what I mean by about the long tail? This one goes back to. Yeah, it doesn't go back that far, you clown. That's the 2nd of December in which year? 2018. So is there any more? Have I got any more 1,000+ views that are older than that? I'm almost halfway there. It won't take much longer. Oh, there's the festive choose your own route adventure. Majority have done 0 views. Some have done 1, which says to me, that's the last month, which says to me, 1 person got stuck into that last month. Great. It was a nice idea. Do you want to know the view totals? Yeah, okay. If you were going to, if you weren't around at the time, this was Transport Fever 1, and over the festive break, I put out 80 videos that were all linked together, because you could ride from one station to the next station in the cab of the train, and then go to wherever that station would take you. So I did every connection, and it was 80 at the time, and that was on the Gotthard Bahn. Down at the low end, you've got Enid Bergen to Wolfenschiessen, and that's done 60 views lifetime. Was that worth the effort? No, but it was fun to do. Well, it wasn't. It was complete. Oh no, that's not the low end. It's 51 views. Wolfenschiessen to Stans. I know exactly where that is. I can picture it in my mind. I know exactly where that goes. There's another 50. Where's that one? That's Sarnen to Interlaken. Really? That was on one of my main routes. It could be Sarnen. I think Sarnen was end of the line. No one cares by that point. Yeah. High end, it's done like 1,000 views on some bits of route. Low end, double digits. Was it worth doing? Yeah. Everything's worth doing. It's always worth doing. If you had fun doing it and you've come up with something at the end of it, you kind of go, I quite like that. The interesting thing, of course, is that it's really shoddy. It's not very well done. It does the thing, but it's not very well done. The Transport Fever original Signals tutorial last month. That's even older. That did 1,300 views. Now, yeah, I mean, you're going to have people yelling, hero content. And you go, yeah, absolutely, hero content. That is the 1st of January 2017. The long tail in full effect. It is surrounded by videos. This is a Transport Fever. This is Transport Fever USA number 36. Did 6 views last month. Planet Coaster Worst Employee Ever. Did 4. Transport Fever Mining Operations USA 38 did 2. Mass Goods Delivery, another Transport Fever, did 5. Then the Beginner's Guide to Signals, 1,300. That's hero content for you, friends. That's the difference. Right, okay, let's get off stats. Have you done everything you want to do on stats? Yeah, I have. 4 days straight of over 40,000 views, right? Peaking at 45, and I went, is this going to hit 50? That would be amazing if it hit 50, but it didn't. Train Life didn't hold up strongly enough. And the reason that it had got to that point is because Car Sim, I'd got that, Car Mechanic Sim, I'd got that good video that was attracting views, and that was still in its early days, so it was still hoovering them up. And Train Life, I put out the first one of those, and so that was hoovering in the views as well. Car Mechanic 2 didn't quite hold it. Not as, but they never do. And Train Life 2 didn't quite hold it. And so I put out a part 1 or a one and done of I think I'd even done a Train Sim World video. And that was another good injection, another one and done injection right there that kind of held it a bit, and then it just tapered off. And so even though I did 2-3 days of nothing videos over the weekend and on Monday, I didn't do anything at all on Monday. I'm still holding at the 20,000 views a day count, because those videos that were doing strongly are still doing the numbers. So that's how the mechanics of that work. But actually I went, these one and done simulators, it's where your best commentary happens. It's where the stuff that makes people laugh happens. This is where you are at your best. Certainly in the ongoing narrative stuff, there's lots of good stuff in there, but it's few and far between, and you really need to make that hit more often for it to be considered this is where you should focus your time. And everything is about time. Everything is, where do you focus your time in order to get the best return on that investment? Because the time is the one thing you can't spend more than once. And again, this comes back to why YouTube rather than Twitch. You could be monumentally successful on Twitch. Every time you turn on and do a stream, you can make $5,000, right? Second you stop streaming, you make nothing. Zero at that point. I mean, yeah, you've got memberships which are passive income, but you make zero. So if you're sick, well, then you don't get paid anymore. Now, if I were to stop putting out videos for a month, my view count would drop into the dirt, but there would still be some of it. And if it were larger, it would still be enough to kind of, bring in a trickle of income. So it's not nothing. Right. What have I covered so far? Multiplayer and survival. Let's finish off on Minecraft. Minecraft, I haven't had time to play because I was doing all of this caper. And because I was running a couple of sports drafts, one of which is still ongoing, and because Discord has been super lively, so there's been lots of stuff to do on there and lots of stuff to get involved in, and because Redline Fury is well, at the time it was ramping up to be about to hit its test season, which is running at the moment. And those of you who are in there and getting stuck in, well done. Good job. To say that I am pleased with the way it's going is an understatement. I need one or two more bits to just fall into place, and then it's nothing but decoration. And a lot of the feedback I've had so far has been about the decoration, not about the functionality. And that's ace. Because I know that the decoration needs sorting out. That's fine. It will be sorted out. But is it important right now? No, it's not important right now. If a style sheet's the wrong colour, get over it. Doesn't show up properly on my phone. It's Kelsey. Kelsey's a bit of an obsessive about it showing up properly on his phone. I kind of go like, am I bothered? No, I'm not bothered. Not right now. It wasn't designed to be responsive, but it can probably be a bit retrofit to do so. And that's fine. A lot of people do stuff on their phones, so that's okay. Is it a game in the traditional sense? No, it isn't. And it's not going to make sense until it does. And then it's not going to make sense to quite a lot of people, but they will still touch point on it, potentially. I have to be vague. The game is designed to be vague. I know exactly what's going on. Even the people who are helping me work on it kind of go like, and it does what now? And they kind of go, ah ha 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 ha, because it lives in here. And there's a reason for that. And anyone who has got stuck in will kind of go like, yeah, I can see your fingerprints all over this. I kind of go, well, it's hardly surprising. I built it. It's going brilliantly. The original series, the test season is ongoing, and the test season you see more behind the Wizard's curtain than you would do normally. Normally, the Wizard's curtain would be sealed, flipping shut, and then bricked up behind it. But I wanted to both test concepts, and I'm using you people as a good motivator to crack on. I'd got to that elusive 90% mark, and I could feel myself starting to stall out. And I went like, no, let's push it through. What better way to push it through than bring in some players? Bring in some players, and then you're kind of encouraged and forced to make things work. It's very, very nearly in the right shape for the first phase. An awful lot depends on the big bit. An awful lot depends on that. But that's all part of the adventure. So that's going all really well. Sorry for being vague about it, but it's all going well. Sports. I had a conversation with someone earlier this month. And the conversation went like this: if 5 years from now I'm doing nothing but sports, I'll be okay with that. Now I'll have lost a ton of people who were watching, and therefore the only reason I would switch is if there were a ton more people. Now it would have to take something massive for me to stop doing the other stuff that I do, the trains and the games and all of that kind of stuff. But that there is that massive out there. Look, I've put 7 years into this, and I've got a good level of success that I'm pleased with, and I'm really enjoying doing it. And I love you guys, and I get to talk to you, and you comment on stuff, and you're backing me in doing this. That's phenomenal. I'm exploring various different sports angles because the overall goal is invent a sport. That's the overall goal, and it could be an esport, it could be a hybrid, not quite an esport kind of thing, something like a Robot Wars. It could be anything, right? And I don't mean Robot Wars as in I'll make a game about robots hitting each other. Something that is a pseudo sport that you don't go to the arena particularly to see. Instead, you watch the broadcast. If that's where I end up, great, and it will be because I've hit something phenomenally successful, and I'm exploring some ideas in that area purely because I've got ideas that I've not seen anyone do, and therefore I'm looking into it. Am I that big a sports fan? I'm really not. My interest in sports largely lies in statistics, in that I like things that are statistically interesting. I like the RPG element of sports management where players improve and they get backstories and it fits together. I thoroughly love doing the baseball series. I think the last one that I did, the last season that I ran, was probably one of the best. The live final was wonderful, and as such, I'm mixing it up I've shuffled a few players out of each team, and we're currently drafting them onto different teams. And thanks to those of you who are helping it out, it's taking its time because we're doing it in no hurry. When you see the notification on Discord, make your pick kind of fashion. But I might punch through the last kind of 3 rounds because we're into players who are, for all intents and purposes, identical. They've got the same ranking, so I might just speed that along, but to do the last bits. But yeah, I've got. We're playing Draft Day Sports, which is an American football game. We've got openings for this. If you want to play an American football manager title, swing by the Sports Ball forum, Sports Ball room in Discord, and just kind of go, what's all this? And people will kind of walk you through it. There will be video coverage of it this year, but honestly, I doubt there's viewers in that. It's mostly the main reason for doing it is recruiting. Recruiting more coaches to kind of fill it up. The original aspiration was, well, because the company that make this game, I know this is boring for some of you, the company that make this particular game, they also make a college football version, and you can have the graduates from college go into the draft in the pro version. And there was a lofty kind of strokey beard moment of like, wouldn't it be great to get enough players to be able to occupy both the college game and the pro game? It's not going to happen. The game is only all right. Now, I have got a replacement game for it, but we've only just started this one. I've got a replacement game for it, and I think that's the one that would be successful. But I might need to start killing some plans. I might need to start going, that's not doable. You can't succeed with that. Or you could, but you're splitting your attention too broadly, and therefore you need to knuckle down and do the stuff that works. Which is the theme for today's show. Going on a 2-week simulator-esque bender, as it were, has allowed me to see the cause and effect of doing the stuff that works. And it works. So I'm going to keep doing that. I'd love to get off my 300,000 view plateau onto a 500,000 view plateau. That would obviously it'd be nice if it went even further than that, but it would be nice to be able to make that next rung up, because in doing so it means that there is further insurance that if I can't do something for a week, that long tail will support it. There we go, tying the story completely together. Incidentally, at the end of the month I'm off for a week because I'm going on holiday. Woohoo! Not my idea, you understand, herself. She's kind of gone, they are letting us into countries that we want to visit. Let's go while we can. She's good at this timing stuff while there is a window of opportunity. So yeah, we're going out to Greece for a bit. We like a bit of Greece. That's why my brother lives there. I wonder if we're Greek historically, if there's a genetic Greek thing going on. Couldn't tell you, but it's a lovely place, and so we're going to Greece. It's not on fire as much as it was a couple of months ago. That was some shocking stuff, but islands is the way to go anyway. So I'll queue up some videos for that week, but there'll be fewer than normal, and there won't be a live stream. Live streaming, last thing, Bannerlord. How good was the end of the last episode of Bannerlord? Oh boy, holy cow! I could have not planned that any better. The end of that last episode was absolutely wonderful. If you've not seen it, it's the one called... I can't look it up on my browser because my internet's down. Hold on. It's the one called... I might not even turn up in top videos because it was a stream. It's the one called... Everyone Hates Us. Yeah. It's the one called Everyone Hates Us. And just watch the last 30 minutes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, if you've dabbled in Bannerlord, oh yeah, that's quite good. But I'm not going to watch a 4-hour video. No, that's not going to happen. Watch the last 30 minutes. It's superb. It's just wonderful. Anyway, that's going to continue. I don't know why. But Bannerlord's one of those games where every episode's pretty much like every other episode, and yet it's not at the same time. I enjoy it, and the viewers certainly love it. I get a good 300 to 400 people who will sit through the entire thing every single time. If it was a train game, I imagine that number would be quite a lot higher. But it's not a train game, so it's not higher. Right, I'm done. I'm talked out. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much for your support. Your support is very, 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 very helpful. It's your support is the insurance policy against the nature of YouTube, which is views go up, views go down, views go up, views go down, and then the secondary wave that goes with that is ad rates go up, ad rates go down, ad rates go down, ad rates go down, ad rates go down, ad rates go down. Oh, it's December. Ad rates go up a little bit, and then ad rates go down. Advertising's not. If you want to make a living off YouTube these days, you need something that isn't going to be reliant on the ad rates. Pro tip, because no, you've got to think in different ways. The way that I'm thinking, it's you people. Yeah, most definitely. That's what I'm gonna do. I've got to be convincing and active and busy enough. Oh, I have one more thing that I meant to say. Backers series. I haven't been doing the Backers series for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks possibly, because I don't know what I'm going to record, and also I got really busy on other things and I let it slide. And I have a habit of doing that, and that's not good enough. I don't know what I'm going to do. I genuinely don't. I was thinking of doing Crusader Kings because I know you'd like that. The only downside to it is I try and make Backer series 20 to 30 episodes in length, maximum, so that if people didn't enjoy that particular game, you don't have to wait that long, 6 months. You don't have to wait that long before I do something else. So I don't know. It is the place where Let's Play will still thrive. If you enjoy that kind of thing, I'll play absolutely anything on a Let's Play basis, as long as I enjoy the game. If I can enjoy the game and the story tells the story, then I'll play it. I was open to suggestions a little while ago. Don't bother offering me suggestions. It will be a game I pick. I am well versed in the games that are available. I've got tons in my library that I haven't really touched enough anyway. There you go. Right, that's it. I'm done. I'm going. I'm going to go and do something practical while I am disconnected from the outer. Oh no, I might do some Photoshop. I've got a load of action figures to make. Yeah. No, they're not real action figures. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Cheerio.